Ed, were these job cuts unexpected and larger than we thought, or in line?
Certainly expected. My colleagues and I reported last week they were coming right in the thousands. I would say 10,000 is deeper than sources had kind of steered us towards. It's not just 10,000 jobs being cut, but Meta is also scrapping the 5,000 open roles that they were advertising for. And you go really quickly to the question of why, right? And then in there buried and in the regulatory filing is they've lowered their expenses forecast for this year to a range of $86 to $92 billion. So clearly they needed to go deeper to reduce that cash burn and spend while the world around them changes.
Mark Zuckerberg's outlook on the economy is, to put it mildly, a bit like the weather with you right now.
Correct.
A little downbeat.
A little downbeat. I mean, and when it rains, it pours, or whatever you want to say. I mean, he's basically citing higher interest rates. He's citing a leaner economy. He's citing geopolitical tensions. But for me, the really interesting part of that statement is saying that increased regulatory scrutiny of technology is resulting in slower growth. I think that's something we need to look into, which was as a part of his statement. Basically, the economy is worse than feared, and a lot of sources have been telling me inside the company, they've been worried. Morale is rock bottom right now inside of Meta. They knew these layoffs were coming, but I think they were worried that the economy would worsen, which would require Meta to take deeper action. And of course, they have. You look at the share reaction, investors, of course, are cheering it because they're getting exactly what they wanted.
Ed, I have to wonder, is the rough economic outlook specifically a Zuckerberg Meta thing? Versus a broader economic outlook thing, in that it doesn't necessarily mean that this is the bottom then?
Well, when we go back to that OPEX or expenses reduction, BI are very quick to point out that it's likely to be focused around R&D, in other words, reduced R&D spending. The story with Meta has been that investors lost patience on the very big losses from Reality Labs, which was the main unit driving the transition to the metaverse. At the same time, its bread and butter advertising continued to suffer. So when your top line growth is being eroded and your bottom line is being countered by deep losses in the thing you're working towards on a 10-year horizon, you're giving up. I think what's really interesting as well, sources were telling me that when all the hype around AI hit and Meta came out with Llama, its large language module generative AI tool, you know, inside everyone was like, oh, well, now we're pivoting to another thing, having already lost focus on Reality Labs and cut back there. But I think this is just the broader reality facing the company. And to Guy's point in the statement on the economy, Zuckerberg says he expects the economic situation to last for, quote, many years, which gives you a sense of how long the Meta's bracing for.